Hello and welcome to our evening news. Here are the major stories. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margeele, takes part in the EU summit in Abidjan. In all the international news, North Korea affirms new missile can hit all of the US mainland. Before starting with the national news, let me wish you a happy Mawlid al-Nabi, or the birth of our Prophet Muhammad. May peace and blessings be upon him. And to the national news, the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Margeele, arrived at Felix Houphouët-Boigny International Airport in Abidjan yesterday evening to take part to the 50th summit between the European Union and the African Union. The theme of this summit between the European Union and the African Union this year is investing in youth for a sustainable future. On his flight, the head of state was greeted by a large delegation including members of the Ivorian government and Djiboutian delegation including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Youssef, Secretary of State for Youth and Sports, Sir Hassan Kamil Mohammed, Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to Côte d'Ivoire, and President of Morocco, Ibrahim Bille, Ambassador of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Belgium and the European Union, Mr. Omar Siad, and the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, as well as representative of Djibouti to the African Union, Mohammed Idris Farah. The head of state, Major Governor of the African Interposition Force in Somalia, General Osman Nur Subakli. At the summit, of the African and European leaders will look at the future of EU-Africa relations with a focus on investing in youth. This is a priority for both Africa and EU, with 60% of the African population under 25. The Djiboutian ambassador in Ethiopia, who was among the Djiboutian delegation, expressed himself about this meeting. And he said that before the opening of this summit today, the ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti, Ethiopia, and representative to the African Union, Mohammed Idris Farah, said that this summit will have several aspects of its agenda related to issues of common interest to both continents, including peace and security, migration, transfer of skills and know-how, and the realization of greater economic and trade exchanges between the two sets will also be at the heart of the discussions. African leaders and their European counterparts meet in the Ivorian capital Abidjan to debate on how to solve some mutual problems ranging from youth unemployment, security and migration. Under the auspices of the 5th African Union, AU and the European Union summit, the leaders will meet over a 2-day period between Wednesday the 29th to tomorrow. The summit comes at a time when migration is high on the news agenda as a result of the slavery report from Libya weeks ago. While in Ivory Coast, the leaders are expected to once again try to reinforce existing measures to curb the illegal immigration of young Africans to Europe. The issue of investing in the young African by way of providing employment and skills training is at the heart of the summit. The theme of the summit is investing in the youth for a sustainable future. A number of African leaders have already arrived in Ivory Coast, among others Nigeria's Muhammad Buhari, Paul Kagame of Rwanda, Jacob Zuma of South Africa, and Joao Lourenço of Angola. After 4 days of memorable activities across the country, the Ministry of Women and the Family and the National Union of Djiboutian Women, with the support of UNICEF, celebrated today the National Day of the Child at the People's Palace. This year's celebration is focused on making children's voices heard in solidarity with the world's most vulnerable children. Placed under the high patronage of the Prime Minister, this celebration saw the participation of several members of the government, the representative of the system of nations, the civil society, and of course the children who were in the spotlight. The day began with the recitation of the Holy Quran by the children of the CPA and followed by the national anthem. Then it was the turn of several young children artists who interpreted poems, songs, and traditional and modern dances to punctuate the atmosphere of the room. To conclude this day, gifts were presented to the children by the Prime Minister, the Minister of Women and the Family, as well as senior government officials and partners. The Minister of Women and the Family, Mrs. Mumina, emphasized in her speech the importance of this day. She reiterated that children are at the heart of the government's policy. And the Prime Minister, who took the floor, said in his speech, the theme chosen this year, "Let the Children Speak," is also of a special nature. This theme goes beyond respect for children's rights, beyond the simple protective approach of children. It reminds us, he said, that every family and every one of us must be very attentive to children. The goal is not only to allow them to express themselves, but also to understand the problems they face. Give them the floor also means listen to their questions so that they can be better guided, has continued the Prime Minister. Family education is irreplaceable for children. It helps to anticipate the mistakes of youth. Give the floor is to involve children in the construction of their future. It is to avoid them certain dangers. And like the Muslim world, Djibouti today celebrates the Mawlid al-Nabi, a feast commemorating the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. On this occasion, and under the high patronage of the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Muhammad, the Ministry of Muslim Affairs has celebrated this prominent event for all Muslims with the ulamas of the People's Palace. The event brought together, besides the Minister of Muslim Affairs, Culture, Mumin Hassan Barre, the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports, Hassan Muhammad Kamil, the Minister of Housing and the Environment, Musa Muhammad Ahmed, in the presence of the Executive Secretary of High Islamic Council, Sheikh Aukar Fatah. On the occasion of the Mawlid of the Prophet, the Executive Secretary of the High Islamic Council presented to the whole population of Djibouti and the Muslims to the world his best wishes for happiness, health and prosperity. He also called to all the population of Djibouti national unity to preserve the peace of our country. The Minister of Labour, Mr. Hassan Idris Samir, received this morning in his office the OIM representative accompanied by a Canadian delegation acting on behalf of the Holy Mail Company. The meeting was attended by officials from the Ministry of Labour in charge of the Administration Reform, Secretary General Abdullah Ali Mohammed, and IFEB Director General Hussein Ismail Adan, and Mrs. Muna Mohammed, head of the Labour Ministry. This working meeting follows a previous meeting on ways and means of facilitating the immigration of Djiboutian labor to Quebec. A forced contingent of 35 young people will be recruited by All-Male Company in the poultry sector. Other job opportunities for young people are in perspective. Under the co-chairmanship of the Decentralization Ministry and the Secretary of State of Social Affairs was held in the conference room of the Regional Dakhil Council the launch of a national enumeration operation of persons with special needs. The opening words of the workshop were delivered successively by the President of Dakhil Regional Council, Abdurrahman Yunis, by the Director of the Decentralization, Yusuf Abdullah, by the Deputy Prefect of Dakhil, Idris Abbas, and by the Business Director, Amina Ahmed Warsama. This operation, prepared in collaboration with the National Network of Disabled People, is a first in Djibouti and will lead to the creation of a unique database for people with special needs listed throughout the country. And on the international scene now, Britain has offered to pay much of what the European Union was demanding to settle a Brexit divorce bill, bringing the two sides close to agreement on a key obstacle to opening talks on a future free trade pact, EU sources said on Tuesday. Hindi Ibrahim has more to tell us.
The offer, which a British newspaper valued at around €50 billion, reflected the pool of outstanding European Union demands that include London paying a share of post-Brexit European Union spending on commitments made before Britain leaves in March 2017, as well as the fighting of European Union stabilization for the case to come. A British government official say they do not recognize this account of talks going on ahead of his visit by Prime Minister Theresa May to Brazil this coming Monday. Nonetheless, the author conceded that Britain had yet to make a fully committed offer and that a social agreement from the other 27 member states could not yet be taken for granted. The European Union said the condition of significant progress on three key elements of a withdrawal treaty before it will accede to London's request for negotiation on a free trade pact that could keep business flowing after Brexit in 60 months.
North Korea said on Wednesday it has successfully tested a new type of intercontinental ballistic missile that could reach all of the U.S. mainland explanations.
The missile test, North Korea's first since mid-September, came a week after U.S. President Donald Trump put North Korea back on U.S. list of countries it says support terrorism, allowing it to impose more sanctions. North Korea has conducted dozens of ballistic missile tests under its leader Kim Jong-un. In defiance of international sanctions, Trump has vowed not to let North Korea develop a nuclear missile that can hit the mainland United States.
This is it for this edition. Thank you for following us on RTD, and once again wishing you a happy Mawlid al-Nabi.